ran its campaign. Let's get the thoughts of one key long-standing Labour MP who has joined me here on the BBC platform. Very good morning to Diane Abbott, Labour MP for Hackney North and Stoke Newington in London. Lord Mandelson, pretty critical. I don't know how much of it you heard, but the party discarded the new Labour project, he said, and that is one of the reasons for the disaster on Friday.
Well, Lord Mandelson would say that. I think we need to look to the future. We need to learn lessons, particularly in Scotland, where people voted for a party that would scrap Trident and stand up to austerity. So we need to look to the future rather than to the past. And it's fortunate we've got a wide array of talented leadership candidates to choose from.
It's not just about Scotland, though, is it? Because if you look at the mass, of course, Scotland was disastrous. But even if we take away the situation in Scotland, there were key areas of England that Labour lost that really shouldn't have happened. Is there no truth at all in what is not just Lord Mandelson, is it? Chuka Umunna this morning saying perhaps we talked a little bit too much about business, perhaps we didn't talk enough about aspiration, people's natural aspirations. Is there anything there? Because something went badly wrong, didn't it?
Scotland lost us 40 votes, which 6 months ago we would have thought was slam dunk for the Labour Party. Of course we have to speak to aspiration, but I've canvassed all over London in some very middle class areas, and middle class people have children too, and they are worried about their children's future. We need a message which of course speaks to aspiration, but which speaks to everybody, but it's a progressive message. We cannot go back, we must go forward.
OK, it must go forward. What does that actually mean then? How does the party regroup? What did it not do that it should have done then?
We need to look at the way we relate to our communities. We need to make sure we're putting forward candidates that are very strongly rooted in their communities. And as the Tories unroll £12 billion worth of cuts in welfare and much bigger cuts overall, don't believe it's only poor people that will suffer. Middle class people will suffer as well, and we need to offer a critique of Tory austerity.
Right, but so are you hoping then, essentially, that once people have experienced those £12 billion worth of cuts over the next 5 years, that come the next general election, that will be enough for Labour? That will turn it around?
No,
people will think, I don't want that austerity.
No, not at all. We have to have a vision, we have to have a narrative, we need to stand up for people, but we also have to understand that the Tory cuts will be as bad in some cases for middle class people as for everybody else. But we do need a vision.
So who provides that vision? Who's the right sort of candidate? What sort of quality? You're smiling because you don't want to perhaps give a name, but what kind of qualities? What are you looking for? What qualities? Have you got them? Would you like to do it?
I did that. I'm running for mayor, and I believe I have the qualities that are needed to win for Labour in London.
So what does the Labour Party need as a national leader?
I think they need somebody perhaps who's not so associated with the past. They need someone that's going to bring all wings of the party together, and they need somebody that understands the importance of engaging with communities.
Engaging with communities. I appreciate that you keep coming back to that phrase. I just wonder whether people listening this morning will still think, I'm not 100% sure I quite know what that means. Who is not being spoken to?
Well, I think one of the things we did in some of our industrial areas and former mining areas was parachute one too many London-based special advisors as an MP. We need to look at the people we bring forward to represent Labour. There's no simple answer, because the roots of this defeat are not actually in the 5 years Ed Miliband spent as leader, and he did his very best. The roots of this defeat, particularly in Scotland, go back a lot further.
All right, Diane Abbott, thank you very much for your time this morning. Thanks for being with us. Diane Abbott, the Labour MP for Hackney in London.